So basically, I've tried recording this like 4 times already, but one of like 3 things happens. One, a car decides to like honk its horn and like beep nonstop. Like, I should probably put the footage on this so you can just see how bad that was. Like, seriously, I wanted to kill that person. Like, I love my neighbors, but I hate them at the same time because they're honk all the time. And then honking requires this little pupper, Milkshake. It's okay. But he barks, so he starts barking, and then like it just like goes to crap. So I'm gonna try this again. So hopefully something goes right, and I will be able to finish this video, but it's not looking too hot right now. Like, and this is my first review too, and I just spent a minute explaining this, and this is gonna be such a long review. And then all my books are out of whack. I mean, like, everywhere, and I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, oh, I know what's going on. I'm losing my mind because I'm talking to myself in the camera. Anyways, that's not the first book. I'm just gonna go through and tell you the books in the series, and I'm gonna give a quick review of like the beginning of the series. So if you haven't read them, you have an idea what the series is about and what I think of it as it is right now. So this is Glass Houses and the Dead Girls Dance, and this is the first volume. It's like the blue one. And volume 2 includes Midnight Alley and Feast of Fools. And then the third volume, Lord of Misrule and Carpe Corpus. And then Fade Out and Kiss of Death. And then that's where my bind-ups stop, because that's where they stopped publishing them. And then, because they started making these like full size instead of mass paperback production. So Ghost Town, and Fight Club. And all these books are by Rachel Kane. And so basically this story is about a girl named Claire Danvers, and she's 16, so she's kind of young. But she's already graduated from high school because she's a complete genius, basically. So she's taking college courses at a small town called Morganville. And Morganville has some secrets of its own. Basically, it's run by vampires, and some creepy crap goes down. Like, I'm not even kidding. It is creepy. Half the stuff that happens, and I'm like, what if that really happened? Like, seriously, they pay taxes in blood. If you want to protect your youth, that's what you have to do. Otherwise, you're, like, fighting for your life. So, that's basically that. And then Claire, since she's new to town, she never knew any of this, and so many people had grown up with it, so they're used to it, and it's, like, very normal. And so, she ends up having an altercation in the dorms, and she decides to move out. So, she goes to the Glass House, and there she meets Michael Glass, Eve, and I cannot remember her last name for the life of me. I've even looked in the books, but I cannot find it, of course. And Shane Collins. And with that, they become friends, and she gets to move in, and obviously, like, pay rent and stuff like that. But it kind of saves her from the dorm life that was going on, and it's just, I hate Monica. You'll know what I'm talking about if you've even read the first book. Anyways, so with that, she gets in the mix with all these vampire things which she knew nothing about, and so it's basically her story of dealing with Morganville. And like, the funniest thing I think in the world is in a couple of these books, the last couple books they've had is an introduction, and it basically doesn't spoil anything, so I'm just going to read it real quick to you guys. Welcome to Morganville. You'll never want to leave. So you're new to Morganville. Welcome, new resident. There are only a few important rules you need to know to feel comfortable in our quiet little town. Obey the speed limits. Don't litter. Whatever you do, don't get on the bad side of the vampires. Yes, we said it. Deal with it. As a human newcomer, you'll need to find yourself a vampire protector. Someone willing to sign a contract to keep you and yours from harm, especially from the other vampires. In return, you'll pay taxes, just like in any other town. Of course, in most other towns, those taxes don't get collected by the Bloodmobile. Oh, and if you decide not to get a protector, you can do that too. But you'd better learn how to run fast. Stay out of the shadows and build a network of friends who can help you. Try contacting the residents of the class house. Michael, Eve, Shane, and Claire. They know their way around, even if they always end up in the middle of some trouble somehow. Welcome to Morganville. Don't ever want to leave. And even if you do, well, you can't. Sorry about that. So I think that explains the series pretty well between my summary and the little introduction. So it's basically a town that you don't want to live in, but you want to live in through your mind. And it's a very interesting town too, and I like its dynamics, how it's run and stuff like that. So the series as a whole, I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5. And the reason is because I have this thing, like I usually finish a book in 1 to 2 days. But these books, they take me a little bit longer, and I think it's because it's so much to handle in one book. Like even like the 200-page books in the bind-up, for each one of them, it's so much information and so much stuff just to take in that you kind of need a couple days to finish it. So, but it's a great series. It's a great world, and I applaud Rachel Kane for making this up. And so now I'm going to go into the review of Fight Club, which is the book that I recently just read. And so if you have not read Up to Ghost Town, if you've read Ghost Town, you can watch this review even if you haven't read Fight Club, but if you can watch it too, obviously. But I'm just telling you my thoughts on it and what happens in this book, but it's going to spoil the last 9 books, but it won't spoil this book. So, just thought I'd try to explain it to you. So, basically, in this book, there's this new, like, Fight Club kind of thing, like a new gym thing, where you get to spar with vampires, basically. And Shane, loves to fight vampires. Of course, like, oof, training, I can do that, and I get to beat up some vampires in the process. But he starts changing, and in this book, you actually get his point of view too. It's like in like italicized or whatever that's called, because it's like the slanted stuff. And then Claire's is like the other way. So it's nice to see that point, but the only problem I had with that was it kind of took all the mystery out because you knew what was going on. So I think that's my only like complaint that I actually had about the book itself. Otherwise, I loved the story. I loved everything about it. And this is a long video. And, sorry, this is just taking forever because I've recorded this like 4 times, like I said at the beginning of this video, and it's just getting annoying. And, anyway, so I give this book, I'd say 4.5, like the rest of the book, just because it is so much information, especially with these, like, 350-page books. Like, when they were in the bind-ups, they were like 200 each, and it was a lot to take in then. So this book took me like 5 days to finish, so that's really long for me to do. Like, I usually finish books like 1 to 2 days, that's what I'm saying. So it is a longer, like, it could just be me for too much information for my mind to take in, but I don't know. Okay, well, that's basically the end of my review. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.